She never thought you'd actually walk away. She thought no matter how many times she disrespected you, tested your worth, or treated your loyalty like an option, you'd always be there, waiting, hurting, hoping. But now you're here, numb, angry, confused, wondering why your loyalty got punished and her chaos got rewarded. You gave your all, you stayed, you fought, and in return, she pulled away, ignored your efforts, weaponized your emotions, and you kept trying until you couldn't anymore. This video isn't for the weak. It's for the man who's had enough, who's tired of begging for bare minimum, who's ready to turn pain into power. Because when a woman doesn't value you, there's only one way to hurt her. Not with revenge, not with words, but with results. This isn't about making her jealous. It's about making you unreachable. You'll learn how to shift the energy, reclaim your peace, and rebuild in silence until your glow haunts her memory. If you've ever been discarded like an option, this is your moment. And if you're listening, it means it's not too late to transform your life completely. Comment below, I choose peace. Because by the end of this video, peace won't just be your choice, it'll be your power. Number 1. She hates when you're unbothered. She expects you to react, to panic, to chase, to question everything, because that's the cycle she's used to. She's used to being the center of gravity in every room, every argument, every silence. But when you stop orbiting her, when you pull back your energy completely and refuse to give her your reaction, you break the dynamic. You become untouchable, not because you're acting superior, but because you're no longer available for emotional manipulation. This isn't about playing games. It's about not playing at all. You choose your peace over her drama. You stop explaining yourself for her comfort. You stop bending just to be enough. And what does she do? She panics, because she never expected that silence, that calm, that complete indifference. She scrolls through your feed, watches your stories, tries to decode your absence, but there's nothing left to decode. You're not there. You're building, you're elevating, and it's not a performance. It's not staged. It's your real life now. You stop responding to her signals, not out of spite, but because you genuinely don't see her as your priority anymore. This hits harder than anger, harder than confrontation. She's no longer your crisis to fix. You're not her therapist. You're not her validator. You become your own solution. You rebuild your mornings, your routines, your sleep, your body, your discipline. You read, you train, you write your goals on the wall and attack them daily. You surround yourself with men of purpose and eliminate energy leaks. And as you evolve, she shrinks, not because you tried to hurt her, but because your growth exposes her stagnancy. You hurt her not by shouting, but by healing, not by ignoring, but by transforming. You become the man she thought only existed in movies. And when she finally realizes what she lost, it's already too late. You no longer wait for closure because you became it. You no longer seek her attention because you outgrew it. And now, your silence, your calm, your focus, your glow, that's her punishment. So if you've been left questioning your worth, understand this. Your value was never in her hands. It was always in yours. Now act like it. Number 2, ignoring her kills her control. She used to predict your every move. She knew your rhythm, your desperation, your late-night texts, your apologies. But now, there's only distance, and it eats at her, because the man who used to orbit her world now has his own son. You don't chase closure. You create new beginnings. You ignore not with malice, but with mastery, the kind that comes from self-respect, the kind that demands no explanation. You've broken the cycle. She tests your reaction with silence, with crumbs of attention, with fake emergencies. And you don't bite, because you're done being emotionally manipulated like a yo-yo in the hands of someone who treats affection like a transaction. She thought you were just another desperate echo in her inbox, but now she's checking twice, triple tapping your profile just to feel something, and that feeling is not power, it's loss. You have become the absence that cannot be replaced. Your ignoring isn't passive, it's purposeful. You replace reaction with reflection, excuses with execution. While she crafts her next test, you're already 2 years ahead, building what she never believed in. She once told her friends she had you wrapped. Now she doesn't mention you. Because your glow is proof of what she missed. You don't engage, you don't explain, you level up and let the silence speak. That's the consequence of a woman who thought your time was free. She underestimated a man who finally chose himself. And now she watches from the sidelines as you live a story she can't rewrite. You're not ignoring her. You're prioritizing your peace, your progress, your purpose. And that's what destroys her control forever. Every time she checks her phone and sees no missed calls, no unread messages from you, it chips away at the illusion she once had of control. Because for the first time, she's invisible to the man who once made her feel like the center of the universe. That switch, from being worshipped to being ignored, feels like rejection, but not just from you, from reality. It makes her question her beauty, her influence, her choices. And the harshest truth is this: you no longer care. You don't need her validation. You don't need her closure. You don't even need to hate her. You just outgrew her. The man she thought she left behind, that version of you no longer exists, and the man you've become doesn't even remember the version of her that once had power. You aren't cruel, you're indifferent, not performative, not staged, real. And that's what eats at her every night when she sees your progress, your presence, your peace. She wishes you'd fight. She hopes you'd argue, but your silence tells a story. You've moved on to a version of life where she no longer belongs. Start now. Build your system. Refuse access to those who don't value it. Practice this detachment in everything: your texts, your tone, your choices. No grand exit, just elevation. Let her feel what she caused, not through vengeance, but through your victory. Because ignoring her isn't punishment. It's the new language of a man who's finally moved on. And if you're tired of feeling disposable, if you're done letting disrespect slide because you're scared of being alone, then you need what most men were never taught: emotional control, power, and peace. That's exactly why I created the Stoic Relationship Blueprint, a brutal, clear, and empowering guide to mastering your energy, rebuilding your standards, and becoming the man she can never play again. This isn't a book of theory. It's real, raw principles you can apply today to take your dignity and direction back. And once you get it, it's yours forever. No expiration, no subscriptions. Every chapter, every lesson, always accessible whenever life tries to pull you back into the chaos. The link is in the comments. Get it now. Because if you're not equipped with this knowledge, you'll keep relearning the same painful lessons until you finally decide to change everything. Number 3. She can't handle your detachment. She thought you would chase forever. That every time she withdrew, you'd step closer. That every delay in her replies, every emotional wall, every cold response would be met with your pursuit. But this time, you didn't follow. You walked, quietly, decisively, not out of spite, but because the version of you who once needed her attention no longer exists. Your detachment isn't a tactic, it's your truth. You have learned to sit with your pain, confront your need for approval, and break free from emotional dependency. That's what rattles her. She realizes now she doesn't live in your head anymore. She used to control you with affection, starve you with withdrawal, lure you with confusion. But your peace is no longer something she can interrupt. You've stepped out of the emotional loop, The one where you explain yourself endlessly, apologize for existing, and beg to be seen. You don't beg anymore. You build. And what scares her is that your absence isn't temporary. You're not waiting for her to come around. You're not leaving the door unlocked. You've moved on. And not to someone else, but to someone deeper. The version of yourself who respects his boundaries, keeps his energy clean, and demands nothing less than mutual effort. This kind of detachment can't be faked. It comes from heartbreak, from confusion, from growth. She can't handle it because she knows it's real, and it means she lost access forever. She thought your detachment was a phase, that it was temporary, that you'd come back, that you'd crack under the weight of silence. But you didn't. You got stronger. And every day that passed without her name crossing your screen, she felt it deeper. Not the absence of words, the absence of need. You no longer need her approval, her affection, or her explanation. Because your peace has become your priority. Your detachment didn't come easy. It came after nights of questioning your worth, days of chasing clarity that never came, and the eventual realization that no one is coming to save you. You built yourself from scratch, mentally, emotionally, physically, until your identity no longer required her recognition. She can't handle your detachment because it removes her leverage. She can't trigger you, can't guilt trip you, can't tempt you, and she hates it. Not because you hurt her, but because she can no longer access the version of you who would have done anything just to be chosen. That man is gone. What's left is someone grounded, someone who chooses himself daily, someone who walks away not with anger, but with self-respect. Your detachment is freedom, and freedom scares people who only know how to manipulate chaos. So when she sends the late-night texts, posts the memory triggers, shows up where you are, don't flinch. She's not looking for love. She's looking for access. Access you no longer give. Detachment isn't indifference. It's healing in motion. It's when you stop begging to be seen and start seeing yourself clearly. When you detach, you don't become emotionless. You become focused. And focus is the one thing her confusion cannot survive. Number 4. You stop explaining yourself. You used to explain everything. Why you cared, why you stayed, why you tried so hard to make it work. You defended your truth as if it needed validation from someone who never valued it. But now you say less. You do more. You let your actions scream what your words used to whisper. She asks why you've changed. You don't answer, not because you're hiding, but because you've grown. You stop explaining because you've realized she never listened. She never tried to understand. Your love was something she used to test her power. Now it's something she can't reach. You don't explain your boundaries. You live them. You don't explain your distance. You embody it. You stop negotiating with someone who never intended to meet you halfway. And when she finally tries to understand what happened, the silence is all that's left. She looks back and sees the moments you tried, the effort, the truth, the loyalty. But it's too late. You're no longer available for emotional debates with people who lack the depth to meet your truth. You're not being cold, you're being clear. That's what makes her spiral. She realizes you're not lost, you're focused, you're not confused, you're done. No closure, no conflict, just evolution. That's your new language, and she can't speak it. You stop explaining because explanations are for those who intend to listen. She never listened. She heard what she wanted, twisted your truths, ignored your needs. You've realized now that explanations are currency, and you've been overspending on someone who never had the capacity to invest back. When she sees you now, she sees someone calm, not because you're unaffected, but because you've accepted that your peace matters more than her confusion. You don't send long messages. You don't revisit old fights. You don't break your own standards just to prove your worth. She used to rely on your words to gain control. Every justification, every plea, every clarification gave her power. Now your silence is the boundary she cannot argue with. You walk into rooms with quiet confidence. You move without broadcasting. She can sense it. She can feel that you're no longer in the loop. She circles back with questions, texts like, "You really done with me?" But there's nothing left to explain. The version of you who needed her to understand is gone. Now you understand yourself. That's enough. And that's what makes her spiral. Not your answers, but your absence of them. Because the loudest answer a man can give is no longer needing to speak. Number 5. You're genuinely happy without her. You used to think your happiness depended on her smile, her presence, her attention. That if she replied quickly, you'd feel validated, and if she disappeared, you'd fall apart. You made her the center of your universe while she made you an option. But now, it's different. Now you wake up with clarity. You're building, reading, grinding, healing. You've found joy in silence, in discipline, in choosing yourself over begging for breadcrumbs. And that kind of peace, that kind of progress, it's a mirror she can't stand to look into, because she realizes you didn't just survive without her, you thrived. You're not pretending to be happy. You are. You're eating better, sleeping better, thinking sharper, laughing louder. You've created a life where she's not the center, and that shift is what breaks her illusion of importance. She thought you'd be stuck, thought you'd keep orbiting, thought you'd never move on. But now you're smiling and it's real. You're glowing and it's not for show. You're happy, and she had nothing to do with it. That truth hits her deeper than silence ever could. She sees the gym selfies, the business wins, the moments of joy you no longer filter for her approval. You've become someone who doesn't need her love to feel alive. And that's why she regrets it. Because deep down she knows, if you can be this fulfilled without her, she never had real power. She had access, and that access, gone. Your happiness without her is not just peace, it's proof. Proof that you've changed the game, rewired your mind, and realized that love should never be a negotiation of worth. It should be earned, shared, respected. You finally see that now. And while she scrolls through memories, you create new moments. Unbothered, unapologetic, unavailable to anyone who doesn't bring equal value. That's happiness. That's your new standard. The happiest version of you doesn't check for her, doesn't post for her, doesn't think about whether she'll come back, because you've built a world that's so full of growth, so full of peace, that even her return wouldn't change a thing. You're no longer waiting for the what if or the maybe someday. You live in the now, and your now is solid. It's not curated to make her jealous. It's built to make you unstoppable. You smile and mean it. You laugh and it echoes. You move without checking who's watching. That's what wrecks her. You've detached your joy from her presence. You no longer collapse when she leaves or celebrates when she notices. Your emotions are yours now, and that's your power. You've become a man with rhythm, with purpose, with momentum, and she can't keep up, not because you ran, but because she paused while you progressed. You chose the long game. The habits you built in heartbreak became the foundation of the empire you now walk in daily. She thought you'd sink without her. Instead, you soared. That's what kills her. She expected you to break. Instead, you broke patterns. You broke silence. You broke dependence. And now you move with a peace so real, so rooted, that no apology can reach it. She watches. She wonders. But it's done. You've won. Because happiness was never hers to give you. It was always yours to build. Number 6. She loses when you level up quietly. She expects your pain to be loud. She expects public heartbreak, emotional rants, desperate posts, and online theatrics. She wants proof that you miss her. She wants to know you're suffering without her, that you're stuck, spiraling, regretting, But when you level up quietly, it crushes her expectations, because now she has no access, no front row seat to your evolution, no evidence of your struggle. You vanish, not into chaos, but into construction. You start building silently. You hit the gym not to get her back, but to rebuild your discipline. You read books not to impress, but to upgrade your mindset. You don't speak your revenge, you live it. Your success becomes the echo of the pain she caused. But it's not fueled by bitterness, it's powered by focus. You're not flexing, you're growing. And she can't digest that because she thought her absence would destroy you. Instead, it freed you. She scrolls and sees nothing. No sadness, no bitterness, just strength. And that unknown, that mystery, destroys her ego. Because women like her don't fear being blocked, they fear being forgotten. They fear irrelevance. And when you level up without noise, you erase her ability to insert herself into your narrative. She thought you'd build a better life for her to admire, but you built one where she doesn't exist. And that silence, it hits harder than any status update ever could. Start documenting your process, not to show her, but to track your elevation. Write down your habits, track your wins, invest in your purpose, and let your results be the only reply she never expected. She never believed you'd actually leave her behind in your growth. She assumed you'd always keep a space open for her return, that every milestone you hit would still be about her, that your success would be her story too. But when you level up quietly, that illusion is shattered. You didn't replace her, you outgrew her. That's what she never saw coming. Your silence becomes sacred. It's not a tactic. It's proof that you no longer need to broadcast your healing to validate your worth. You grind in silence because the work is personal. You transform in the dark where nobody claps, because true growth isn't about applause. It's about alignment. And now she's locked out. Not because you're hiding, but because she was never meant to witness the best version of you. She forfeited that privilege when she devalued you. Now she stalks from a distance, watching a life unfold that no longer includes her name. And that mystery haunts her, because she has no idea what room you're in, what goals you've set, what peace you've built. You move without noise, you expand without explanation, and your evolution becomes louder than any caption, more powerful than any confrontation. This is your era of silence, an era she will hear for the rest of her life. Number 7. No reaction is your power. She expects you to react. She counts on your emotions to validate her influence. Every jab, every post, every story she shares, it's bait. She wants your rage. She wants your sadness. Because if you react, she still controls the narrative. But when you don't, when you scroll past, when you stay focused, when your energy stays grounded, that's when her power dies. No reaction is not weakness. It's self-command. It's choosing peace over performance. You learn that not everything deserves your energy, not every action deserves a response. And when she realizes her games no longer provoke you, she spirals. Because silence screams louder than anger. Calm terrifies people who are addicted to chaos. She pushes buttons you've removed. She tries tactics that no longer work, because your growth has outpaced her manipulation. No reaction is your superpower. It's what keeps your mind clean, your goals in sight, your peace intact. While she spins webs of drama, you're building legacies. She crafts illusions of control, but you've unplugged. You've mastered restraint. You don't argue with the insecure. You don't plead with the disloyal. You don't explain to the ungrateful. You detach with dignity. That's the kind of strength they don't teach. That's the kind of silence she'll never forget. She's used to being the center of your emotions, the reason you raise your voice, type long messages, or fall into silence waiting for her to understand. She believed she could always pull a reaction from you because once upon a time she could. But now you've evolved. Now your silence is strategy. Your calmness isn't confusion, it's clarity. You no longer need to win arguments because your life is the proof of everything she overlooked. You're not trying to convince her. You're too focused on convincing yourself to never return to that version of you who used to explain, beg, and break. When you stop reacting, you start reclaiming. You reclaim your energy, your clarity, your direction, and in that stillness, she loses control. Because her influence relied on your lack of self-mastery. But now, every time you don't text back, every time you see the post and say nothing, every time you live your life without checking if she's watching, it reprograms your identity. You become unshakable. And that quiet strength, it echoes. Number 8. She regrets when you replace her peacefully. She thought you'd seek revenge, that you'd replace her out of spite, parade someone new just to spark her jealousy, or crumble in her absence and crawl back. But you didn't. You replaced her quietly, with peace, with purpose, with progress. And that's what she can't forgive. Because you didn't move on to another woman. You moved on to a better version of yourself. No arguments, no showdowns, just distance and elevation. That's the kind of replacement that burns. Because you didn't try to make her regret leaving. You simply became someone she no longer has access to. She thought she could leave chaos in your chest and walk away without consequence. But you gave her the one response no manipulator can handle: complete indifference. You replaced her with mornings that feel light, routines that build your future, and nights filled with self-respect. And now, when she checks your name, there's no trace of bitterness, just a man too full of life to entertain drama. You don't need closure because you've outgrown the situation. You don't need payback because your peace is proof that you've already won. She regrets it not because you replaced her, but because you replaced her better than she ever expected. She imagined you bitter, broken, replaying memories and blaming yourself. She hoped you'd stay stuck in that cycle, waiting, wondering, doubting. But instead, you disconnected. Not loudly, not for show, just quietly and permanently. You chose healing over holding on. You found clarity in the routine, power in the discipline, meaning in the solitude. And she watched it unfold too late. What breaks her is not the idea that you moved on, but that you moved forward. You stopped trying to prove your worth to someone who never saw it clearly. You became the version of yourself she never believed you'd become. You evolved in peace. And that's the regret she has to live with. You gave her every chance. You showed up. You gave deeply. And when you left without drama, without warnings, without chaos. That grace, that's what stings. Because when you walk away gently, it shows strength. And that strength rewrites the story. It ends her illusion that you needed her to survive. Now she knows. You didn't replace her to hurt her. You replaced her because peace mattered more than proving anything. The truth is, you were never weak for loving her, but you will be if you keep letting that pain define you. She played the game thinking you'd never learn the rules. But now you have a choice. Stay stuck in confusion or rise with clarity. This isn't just about getting over her. It's about building a life so solid she couldn't shake it even if she came back begging. If you're done being the man who always gives, always forgives, and gets walked on anyway, then it's time to grab the Stoic relationship blueprint. It's not just an ebook, it's your armor, your roadmap, your final wake-up call. Inside are the principles, insights, and truths that most men never hear until it's too late. The link is in the comments. Once you get it, it's yours forever. Every page, every shift in mindset, always there when the pain creeps back. If you're serious about never being controlled again, comment "I choose strength" below right now. Like this video and subscribe to help more men find these truths.